Hi, I'm Tom, and today I will talk about reasons to be optimistic in the coronavirus crisis. Over the past couple of weeks, the coronavirus crisis has seen a real turnaround in Germany. The vaccines are finally flowing. About 1/3 of the German population has now had their first injection. Not only are the deliveries from manufacturers scaling up sustainably, the process of getting those doses into people's arms has also stepped up a gear. Local GPs are now vaccinating millions of Germans every week. Until now, one of their biggest problems was that many at-risk patients have been declining the AstraZeneca vaccine over safety and efficacy concerns. So to reduce the overhead of calling around people who might not want that particular vaccine, the federal government has removed the prioritization requirement from AstraZeneca. So anyone that wants to go to their GP to get the shot can do so, and that's what I did last week. This all means that by the end of May, nearly half of German residents will have had their first dose. Now, experience from Israel and the UK shows us that this is the point that you start to see a real impact from vaccines on the spread of the disease. The other, and until now only, weapon in our fight against the virus, social distancing and reducing contacts, this has been more successful in Germany in recent weeks now that the federal government has taken over direct responsibility for this. Because you see, before, each of the 16 German states would set their own policy on this, and local politicians were unwilling or unable to take the difficult decisions to close businesses and further restrict private contacts. Now, this is entirely understandable. Most of Germany has been in a state of kind of lockdown since November of 2020, and there has been very little appetite to harden restrictions, even in the face of the spread of the much more transmissible British variant. So many exceptions were found on the local level, leading to a deeply dissatisfying combination of enough restrictions to take the joy out of people's lives, but not enough to adequately control the spread. The federal government's takeover of policy led to nighttime curfews being consistently imposed anywhere in Germany with higher levels of coronavirus spread, which was most of the country a fortnight ago. These rules were deeply controversial. It was the biggest restriction ever by the modern state on German citizens' lives, and it wasn't at first clear how forbidding people from going for a walk alone at night after midnight could control the spread of the virus. However, it did work. It seems that people took this as a sign that things are serious and restricted social contacts even further. They stopped visiting friends that they didn't want to sleep with. Enforcement was surprisingly easy as well. Here in Hamburg, after a month of curfew, only 5 investigations into violations have even been started. This is in a city of nearly 2 million people. The number of daily new infections has been falling consistently and strongly nationwide for a week now. Here in Hamburg, the incidence of infections is now so low that the curfew will be lifted in the coming week. Other parts of the country will likely follow in the coming month. With more and more people getting vaccinated, there is significant hope that, just like in the UK and Israel, the infection numbers will continue to shrink despite the relaxations, and that we are now on a one-way path to normality across the entire country. There is now hope that this will all soon be over. But still, Support for the governing parties is at record lows. The Green Party now lead Merkel's Christian Democrats across most recently published polls. It will be interesting to see if that trend continues. In the UK at least, the governing Conservative Party has benefited substantially from the phased return to normality. Now this British variant of optimism has spread to Germany. It will be interesting to see what effect this has before the federal elections in September. Thanks for listening, and if you've liked what you heard, don't forget to like this video and subscribe.